Hi.
Hi.
So I am doing a series of interviews of creators, and I was wondering if you would introduce yourself and let everyone know what kinds of things you create.
My name is Sasha Jacobsen. I am an artist. I do yoga, and my main platform is Instagram. I try and create art with my body. I also wrap crystals and make necklaces, and yeah, that is me as a person.
Yay. How did you get started with wrapping crystals?
I was just, I don't know, I've always loved crystals, but I've always loved jewelry, and I've never really known, just carrying around in your pockets or carrying them around with you always seemed so inconvenient.
Mm-hmm.
And I encountered this girl on Instagram who I had known for a while, and she started wrapping crystals and making pendants out of them, and I was like, oh, this is such a beautiful, beautiful idea.
Yes.
I want to be doing this, and I bought some wire off of Amazon, and I just started kind of wrapping and figuring it out myself, and I realized, I've got nimble, small little hands. I can work with it pretty easily, and I found I was pretty good at it.
Good. Awesome. So, do you have a way that you like to incorporate your wrapped crystals in your yoga practice in any way?
I'm not really.
Not really.
I always try and wear them, and wear my bracelets or wear my jewelry in some extent, but I've never really incorporated them.
Okay. I know you told me yesterday was it yesterday? Sometime recently, that you've been doing yoga for about 4 years.
Yeah, about 4 years.
Have you primarily just taught yourself, or have you gone to a bunch of classes?
I originally learned off of an app on my phone that I just kind of stumbled upon. I think the app is by Gaim. And I just started following their very, very basic lessons that they had within the app. They were just 20, 30-minute basic flows, and I just kind of learned from there.
Okay.
I think after just so many years of running and working out and everything, that I just have very good body awareness, and I'm a very visual learner, so just seeing the pose, just seeing the pose in front of me, I can just instinctively kind of know how to do it and understand. So I found that learning through my own kind of my own practice was a better way than going to classes and being told verbally how to enter poses, because that doesn't really work with my brain.
Okay, I can understand that. I'm not very good at comprehending when I listen to something. I have to see it or do it usually too.
No, I'm the same way. If I hear somebody explain, do this with your hands or your feet, I'm just I don't know what you're telling me to do.
Yeah, do it, and I can watch you, and then I can do it.
Yeah.
Cool. So you are definitely very body aware, and I'm very excited that we took pictures the other day.
It was fun.
I'm very excited. You did so good, and I'm so excited to see them. How was that experience posing for me? What did you think or feel? Or
I didn't really think anything of it at the time, honestly. It just felt I felt very comfortable. I felt like it was a pretty natural thing for me to do. I've been in this situation before with a few other photographers where they wanted to photograph me nude, and I wasn't in that headspace. I couldn't get in that place, but we were out there, and it just seemed like the natural thing to do.
Yay.
Here are all these beautiful spots. Here is this beautiful human wanting to photograph me.
Yeah.
Of course, I just want to be naked out here.
Yay.
So,
I love being naked outside.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you felt comfortable enough to pose for me. That's really awesome.
It was good. I think it was, I'm glad that I did it just on a personal level.
Yeah.
I think it's a very good experience, just kind of breaking down a few more of my social anxiety barriers.
Cool.
That I've set up for myself.
Do you think you would do it again? Maybe for someone else?
I don't know. I still think I'm I'd have to know the photographer and trust them enough. I don't know that there are any photographers that really meet that category.
I know what you mean.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I would consider it for sure. But yeah.
It's definitely really vulnerable to be nude in front of someone, especially if you don't know them.
Yeah.
So
I just don't like. I mean, I don't even like saying 2 words to a stranger. So getting naked in front of them is not a thing I would like to do either.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can definitely understand that. Do you have like a favorite posture? Is it dancer?
It's probably dancer.
Or I guess, I know you like back bends in general.
I like any back bends. I don't know. I like the aesthetic of any pose that involves like a flip grip. So tiger, dancer, pigeon. I don't know. I just love the kind of arch and the curve and the shapes that your body kind of creates with those. So
you're so bendy, so you do it so well.
Yeah, it's pretty much all I do.
Yay. Yeah, I love it. Is there anything in particular that you have not said so far that you would want people to know about you?
That's a very, very broad question.
I know.
I don't know that I'm... Anything I would like people to know about me? No, not really. I think more than anything, I would just like for people who kind of find yoga and get into yoga to understand that, and see me doing yoga on Instagram, to understand that it's a lot more than just what you see on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yoga is an entire practice. Yoga's kind of like a box, and you are the contents of that box. If you receive a box in the mail and it's empty, then it has no value. That box is worthless. But if you open that box and it has a gift, that is the value of that box. I think yoga is very much like that box. It has absolutely no value if you yourself are not putting in the work. Because if you go on Instagram and you go see people doing yoga, you just see the perfect picture of the perfect pose, and that is not what yoga is about. And even just the asana in general is just a minuscule amount of what yoga is. Yoga is very much your connection to the divine, whatever that may be for you, kind of your own spiritual growth, kind of your own inner growth, and kind of figuring out what that is for yourself. And I think that's what yoga is, and I think that gets very diluted on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I just hope that if you see me on Instagram, that like you understand that I try to be a little bit more authentic with what I'm doing, and that I do understand this, and I do try and compel others to understand that just because you see me doing the most perfect dancer pose that doesn't make me in any way more skilled or adept than anyone else. Everyone who practices yoga is on the exact same level. We're just on kind of different parts of our journey.
Yeah. And we all have different bodies. So some things that are very easy for one person and their body are maybe never going to be able to be achieved in another person's body. But that's not because their body's bad. It's just because their body's different.
No, everyone's like, I do amazing back bends, but I can't do splits. My hamstrings don't like me at all. Sometimes my hips are very stiff, so I stick with what I'm good at least as far as the pictures are concerned. But I do always try and convey the message that like what you see me doing is not the whole of what I do.
Yeah, that's definitely a really important message, because I think a lot of people go on Instagram or the internet in general and see yoga and they're like, oh, I can never do that.
Yeah.
Because they only see the perfect.
Right, they only see the perfect picture of the perfect pose, and I mean, just one capture is not what yoga is. It's just getting into the pose. It's staying in the pose and remaining in it. And I do sometimes feel like that when I do certain poses that are very difficult that I can only hold for like a couple seconds, yet I have this picture that conveys a message of I've mastered it or something, or I can just do it so perfect and beautifully.
Yeah.
Because I used to be that way with dancer. I could get into it and I could hold it for a very, very brief time, but now I can hold it for, I don't really count time, but 20, 30 breaths generally.
That's a lot.
That's where I'm at.
It's impressive.
Before something flies in front of my face, or I lose my spot that I was focused on, whatever.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. How can people find you on social media?
I am at Sash Prime on Instagram. I am at Sash Prime on Snapchat. I am sashprime.com. That is my website that is still being renovated, but hopefully by the time this interview goes up, it will be done. That's pretty much it.
Sweet.
If you search Sash Prime, you'll probably find me.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank
for
you
doing
for
an
this
interview with me
lovely
today.
interview.
Yay.
So much fun.
Yes.